Out of the dramatic testimony on Capitol Hill, where whistleblower Richard Bright warned that 2020 could be the darkest winter in modern history if more isn't done now to address this COVID crisis. It was a contentious confrontation. Mary Bruce is tracking the fallout. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, for the second time this week, a top health official is offering a grim outlook. Dr. Rick Bright ripped into the Trump administration's handling of this pandemic, saying lives were lost because of missteps. And he says there is no comprehensive plan now for testing or a vaccine. But President Trump again is dismissing the criticism and the warnings.
We don't have a single point of leadership right now for this response, and we don't have a master plan for this response.
A top vaccine expert, Dr. Rick Bright, was leading the government's search for a vaccine, but says he was forced out of his job after he raised concerns. Now he's speaking out as a whistleblower with a dire warning of what's to come.
If we fail to improve our response now, based on science, I fear the pandemic will get worse and be prolonged. Without better planning, 2020 could be the darkest winter in modern history.
Bright says early warning signs were missed and that inaction by the government put lives at risk.
I believe Americans need to be told the truth. I believe that the best scientific guidance and advice was not being conveyed to the American public during that time.
He described the moment he realized the federal response was falling short when a manufacturer of N95 masks reached out to warn him of shortages.
And he said, "We're in deep. The world is, and we need to act." And I pushed that forward to the highest levels I could in HHS and got no response.
Looking ahead, Bright tempered expectations about a vaccine.
12 to 18 months is an aggressive schedule, and I think it's going to take longer than that to do so.
He says distributing a vaccine to everyone who needs it will be another problem.
There's no one company that can produce enough for our country or for the world. It's going to be limited supplies.
On his way to Pennsylvania, the president dismissed Bright's warnings.
I don't know him. I never met him. I don't want to meet him, but I watched him, and he looks like an angry, disgruntled employee.
Now, as for when we may actually see a vaccine, Bright was blunt in saying that 12 to 18-month timeline assumes everything goes perfectly, and he says that never happens. He says it is likely that just developing a vaccine is going to take longer. George.
Okay, Mary. Meantime, we're also seeing some fallout for that Republican Senator Richard Burr of North Carolina, who's being investigated by the FBI for stock trades.
Now, temporarily stepping aside from his powerful post as the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee as this investigation intensifies. He is being looked into by federal agents for whether he violated insider trading laws when he sold off more than $1 million in stock as this pandemic was hitting. Burr denies any wrongdoing, though, and says he's just stepping aside to avoid being a distraction. George.
Mary Bruce, thanks very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.